Let's start by you giving us a sense of the scope of your operation, which I believe is fairly unique in the IMG scheme of things.
Yeah, well, IMG Golf Course Services is the division within the golf division of IMG, which I head up. And well, first of all, backtracking, IMG itself is very unique in terms of our representation of athletes, golfers, our organization of events, our IMG media division. So I think just being part of such a big company like IMG is unique. And our IMG Golf Course Services is unique also in the fact that we offer golf course design, construction management, and also golf course management services.
Okay, now you have been in Asia for what length of time?
Well, IMG Golf Course Service really set up in Asia in the early 1990s. So, coming up on almost 20 years that we've been here offering these services.
Give us a sense of the number of golf courses that you have developed from scratch over this period of time.
Yeah, over that period, IMG, actually, it's funny you asked, I just looking at some of those numbers, and we've done 80 golf courses.
Hey, that's quite a bit, huh?
From a golf course design standpoint. About 45 of those are open for play already. A number of those are still under design or planning or construction. From a golf course management standpoint, we've been involved in many projects over the years, but currently we have 15 projects that are under IMG management or have a management relationship in the region.
When you talk about IMG management, are you talking about every aspect of a golf club, including its marketing, the membership, the maintenance of a golf course? Is that the scope of work?
Yeah, that's the scope of work that we can have. We have two offerings in our management business. One is what we call full management. Under full management, we get involved in all aspects, every aspect of the golf club, normally starting in the pre-opening period and then continuing through. But that would include operations, agronomics, sales and marketing. We have another offering which is consulting management. And consulting management can include all those areas as well, or it can include specific areas that the golf club would like us to look at.
Mark, that's an interesting point that you just raised. One of the problems that we have in Southeast Asia particularly, a lot of golf courses are developed and then you see the decline shortly after these clubs are handed over. Doesn't it make good business sense for a lot of these operators to outsource the overall management and care of their golf course to an organization like yours?
Well, obviously we're biased, and I would answer yes, that's a good move on their part. Yeah, a lot of these guys are real estate developers. Let's face it, 90%, 95% of these projects are real estate development. So they're interested in selling the real estate. The golf course is an amenity to this real estate. And I think some of the far side owners have seen that they would like to bring in a professional team. If they can break even on the golf, they're happy. They're making their money on the real estate. So we do think that's a good way, a good approach for their business.
Now, Asia is on the threshold of the next boom in golf, so to speak. The last 25 years saw a lot of developers, say, hey, listen, you got a golf course, I want to have a golf course. And I think in quite a few of the Southeast Asian countries in particular, we're looking at graveyards of golf courses that are just going to the dogs. I think an organization like yours really should now do something to resuscitate a lot of these courses and to make these courses work. Perhaps, looking at running these as public access courses with IMG managing it. Does it make sense?
It does make sense. Most of our projects that I talked about have been new greenfield projects, but there have been a few that we've been involved with where we've gotten in after the fact, where the golf course has already been open and operating for a number of years. And the owners have brought us in to try and reinvigorate the business, reposition the club, or whatever their objective might be. So I do think there are some opportunities in what you said. I think from a public access standpoint, obviously the numbers need to add up. And IMG as a business, we do need to take some revenue and some fees out of the club. So we also have to make sure that the club can afford to hire us. And there are some projects that maybe don't make sense for IMG to get involved because the fees that we would require as a management company might make the project not commercially viable. But I do think there will be pockets of opportunity as you've described, and especially in the ASEAN countries.
Got you. Give us an idea as to what you would consider to be some of your marquee projects in the region.
Well, I think the first one I would mention would be Montgomery Links in Vietnam. And the reason I mention that is because it's the one project where we've provided all three of our services that I mentioned previously. So we were involved together with Colin Montgomery in designing the golf course. We were then hired to do the construction management. So we put a project team on site who handled all of the oversight of the construction for about an 18-month period. And we were also then hired to do the pre-opening management services. So we had a contract in helping them to recruit the general manager, the superintendent, and to lead them through the very critical pre-opening stages. So Montgomery Links, I think, would be near the top of the list, and actually it's just been voted by one of the Vietnamese golf magazines as the top golf club in Vietnam. A couple others, I think, that where we have combined services that are, two actually have just opened for play in China, in northern China. One is Top Wind Golf and Country Club near Beijing. And again, this was an Ian Woosnam design together with IMG. And we are involved from a consulting management standpoint. And then the other one would be Dalian Red Flag Valley, which is a 36-hole project in Dalian in China, again, where IMG has provided the design services, and we're also involved from a management standpoint. So obviously we have a long list of projects, and it's hard to mention just a few, but I think those are the most, those would be the most noteworthy, given the fact that we've provided both design and management services, and in the case of Montgomery Links, construction management as well.
Okay, let's talk for a minute about your branded projects, where you use some of the major sporting names contracted to IMG. Do you see this becoming a trend going forward in Asia?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag, and I really don't like the term branded because it gives a connotation that someone like Annika Sorenstam or Colin Montgomery are just putting their name on a project. I mean, I think what we talk about is player designer and their involvement, and these players do get very involved in their projects and they take a personal interest in it. But I think there is a market for that. We've seen it over the years. We also have developed our own IMG design brand, which is quite popular. So it really depends on the positioning of the product, the project, the location of the project, and also their appetite in terms of design fees. Because let's face it, a project with the involvement of someone like Annika Sorenstam or Colin Montgomery or Padraig Harrington, the design fee will be quite different than an IMG design.